Hi everyone, today I thought we would talk about my favorite animal rights books. This is part 2, so go watch part 1 if you haven't yet. But anyway, let's get into it. First of all, we have extinct animals. I put this first on the list because sometimes we need reminders on why we need to fight for animals. We hear all the time how polar bears are going extinct and how many other animals are fading away. We hear about the already extinct animals too sometimes, but a lot of us just tend to forget since these creatures are now out of sight and probably out of mind. That's why I think this book is so important. This book shows different species we have lost due to the selfish behaviors of people. If we don't learn from our mistakes and find ways to save animals, then we may lose more of them. This book could really help us remember why we are fighting to begin with, because if we don't fight now, then we will eventually lose more innocent creatures. Some of my favorite extinct animals from this book are the Tasmanian tiger, the quagga, I believe is how you pronounce it. It is an extinct species of zebra, as well as a species of river dolphin. These were all amazing, very stunning animals that we sadly lost, but they must not be forgotten. I also wanted to mention this animal studies book. This book is a great book to read if you really want to fully understand the relationship we share with animals and how it affects them, society, and us as people. Many people view animals as just objects to be used for clothing, food, labor, and more, but humans are also animals. We are apes. And most animals share emotion like we do, if not stronger emotion than we feel. I believe I read somewhere that dolphins and whales are actually more intelligent and more emotional than we are. They just happen to have different bodies from us. As long as a creature has a brain, then there is some sort of intelligence and emotion. Most people who I know of who don't think animals have feelings usually weren't raised with a pet, or they weren't taught respect towards animals. But I'll have you know that from my experience with horses, dogs, cats, and birds, and other creatures, non-human animals really do all have their own personality, emotions, intelligence, and even interests. They are all different just like how we are. I'm at this point where I really do not consider humans and animals as separate creatures because humans are animals. We're literally mammals, right? So to me, all animals are animals, and we just happen to have different bodies from each other. Some beings are trapped in the body of a human, like I am. Other living beings are in the bodies of cats, dogs, dolphins, etc. That's the best way I could explain it. Yeah, some animals are less intelligent than others, but they still deserve respect. I mean, I was never good at math, and I'm still not good at math. Does that mean I deserve less respect for being quote-unquote dumb in the subject? No, it doesn't. Even if somebody is, less intelligent than you, it doesn't give you the right to just want to harm them or think they deserve less kindness. Using intelligence as a way to measure how much respect somebody deserves is a really weird way to choose whether or not you are nice to somebody. This book also does a great job explaining why animals are treated differently and why we need to stop this injustice. It doesn't matter if it's a cow or a horse or a dog or a cat, no animal should be harmed so awfully. Listen, not all of us can afford a plant-based diet, but being aware of our choices is a first step to helping save animals in the process. Plus, learning respect can only do good, because there is no reason why people should think it's okay to love dogs but then harm cats, or treat horses aggressively but then baby other pets. It's not equal at all. Nobody should be getting hurt at all. I hear some people say sometimes, well, I don't like cats. Listen, I don't really like dogs, but that doesn't give me the right to want to hurt dogs, of course. You could dislike an animal without having to hurt it. I mean, how would you feel if somebody disliked you and then decided it would be okay to hit you? It's just not okay. It's not right. And to view certain species of animals as lesser than other species is just messed up. Yeah, some animals you may consider to be more valuable than others, but just because you consider an animal to be more valuable than another doesn't mean you have to disrespect any of them or hurt any of them. It's just messed up how people think, because regardless of how you feel about animals, they will still have emotions and they will still have nerve endings too. It's just awful when people decide that it's okay to treat dogs like children, but if you see another animal like a cat or maybe a horse, then it's okay to hurt them. It's weird that we decide who to respect and who to disrespect based off of their body. Advocate for Animals is also an amazing book to read on this topic because it helps us expand on why treating people and animals with respect is so important, as well as what we can do to help in a really organized way. So it's the perfect little guide to have on hand to help promote animal rights and also use to follow good morals. The book also mentions like a bunch of different animal issues, and if we know what the problem is, then we could help resolve it, and that's exactly what we have to do. For example, recently I read in an article that there tends to be a lot of harm done to donkeys. And the reason for that is because a lot of people are not raised to respect donkeys and are taught that donkeys are stupid. And if we could teach people that animals actually are intelligent and do feel pain and deserve respect, then we could prevent more donkeys from being harmed. I've seen videos before of people using donkeys as punching bags, and once the donkey turns on that person to fight back, everyone is so surprised. If people had just known that donkeys feel pain and also feel emotion, then maybe we could have prevented some donkey attacks. And this also goes for other animals too. A lot of people also are not aware of animal body language for various different species, not just donkeys. Being undereducated is why people get hurt. But lastly, books by Greta Thunberg. So the climate book, because to this day people still think the topic is a hoax, even though it is destroying not only animals, but also the world. It's a very in-depth book and is probably the best book right now on the topic of the climate movement. And of course, this other book. This book is a great book to read because it is so iconic. Greta Thunberg is a huge reason why the movement for saving the planet has grown and has gotten so much awareness spread on it. This book has a lot of her speeches. They're very moving, very important. But yeah, those are all the books I have to share today about animal rights. Remember that when you help animals, you are also helping people too. And don't forget, a lot of people who harm non-human animals like dogs, cats, horses, whatever, they eventually end up hurting people as they get older. So preventing people from harming non-human animals will eventually help people too, because you're stopping the harm before it could even get to you or anybody else. So yeah, that is it. Tell me which books you would purchase off of this list. Bye!